All right, we are on the air, and a few of us have been together for quite some time. I've got Eileen Chen up in Toronto, and Deborah Robertson down in the Atlanta area. Boyan is here from Vancouver. We had Tim Berrigan for a while, and we had Charlie Harmon, and it's been a good working meeting, and we are just recording it because we've been all over the place, because that's what you do in working meetings, and but now we're going to kind of go through where all of the decisions that we've made, because we actually have made some good progress, I think. Wouldn't you say, Eileen?
Yes.
Yes. Eileen's the only one unmuted besides me, so tell me what's going on if I need to pay attention to the chat box or anything. So the first thing here on the list is follow-up from Lisa's webinar, and what we decided to do is that Deborah is going to go through, well, there's 13 clips that have been made that basically is all of the different questions that Lisa answered in the live webinar have been made into individual segments, individual clips, knowing that people generally watch 2 minutes or less. We kind of tried to make, obviously didn't go any further than that at this point. These are complete, but the next step is to edit them. We reviewed a very cool tool. What's that tool called, Eileen?
Powtoons.
Powtoons, and amazing, powerful. You guys missed it. We're not going to go over that here, but there is a username and password for it. We're going to supply that to our VA along with, so we're going to go through these videos and basically bullet point them as if we're sitting there in the audience and learning this material, and then we're going to use this tool to make the B-roll that's going to go along with Lisa's answers and with the question and answer combinations as appropriate. And so among 3 or 4 of us, we're going to go through the 13 different segments that have been created, and we're going to do the best that we can with this very simple approach that we're using. We could spend a lot more money and do even more, but this is going to cost us overall, I think it'll be less than $150, and you're going to be amazed at what we get out of it. And it's just the beginning of pure content that we can now use for whatever we choose to. And we talked about using that content for promoting our next webinar, moving on to step 2, and we have decided to reschedule that for Monday night. So let me unmute you, Deborah, and you can talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about our guest speaker.
Okay, you got me? Okay, I was just pulling up. It's David Dutton, and he is Nashville, Tennessee, and he's just a marketer. I'll pull up a couple of his websites and send David, D-A-V-I-D, Dutton, D-U-T-T-O-N, and do Nashville. He does something called Nashpreneur deal.
Okay.
And hold on just a minute, Stacey. You see her post? Okay. And let's see, Nashpreneur.com. And that is one of his websites. Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Let's see, Nashpreneur. This is where he was doing yeah, that was just where he was doing his networking expo. He told me in the morning we're going to talk, so I'll get some more information and get a bio and some things like that from him.
I think this is it.
Let's see. Business book author David. He's on YouTube. Let's see what this one is.
Are you looking at?
Whoa. Yeah, the Ultimate Nashville Business Guide. He wrote that book. That's one of them that he wrote. I know he's got a couple out there.
Are you looking at your screen at GoToWebinar?
Hold on just a second. Okay.
Al Ritia. Who is Al Ritia? I don't think that's really Al Ritia. You see what I see?
Nashpreneur.com, is that what's up there?
Why are you not seeing it?
I don't know.
Are you in your go-to meeting window?
Yeah, yeah,
And you're not seeing the page that he's, there's a video, it shows him holding up the book.
Okay, yeah, I see that now, yeah.
Yeah, so this is our man, right?
Yeah.
Great. Love it.
He'll do a good job. I promise you he'll do a good job. And I'll get some, and we're going to talk tomorrow, and I'll get some information and kind of some bullet points of what he, what he thinks that would be good to share with us and help us with our relationship building in our community, and because we still want to go along that same theme, is that right, in marketing?
Yeah, I mean, we already announced the title of the next webinar.
Right.
And it's basically
credibility, how to gain instant credibility. Okay.
So he can modify it, but that's still
he
really
can do it. Yeah, it's very broad, and he can handle it.
perfect. Okay, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for that suggestion and for making it happen. So quickly on these other on the rest of the topics, update on David versus Goliath clicks, which is the most important thing to some people in this group. A lot going on. I requested for everybody who's participating in the co-op to provide me with their data, and once we know what people are able to do on their own in terms of understanding, where their data is and knowing what people need help with, then we'll do our best to be able to automate getting that data from people so that we can have it in as close to real time as possible, but at least on a weekly basis, ideally on a daily basis, or real time if it's easy, if the information is all in one place. But the key is that the analysis is going to really, for any successful marketers, being able to do the analysis and optimization is key. We've got our first data. From the sound of it, it's pretty poor, but I don't even know. I mean, I know that Peter's gotten 6 sales so far, which is not bad, and I haven't heard from some other people, but in general, things I've been seeing on We Saw Good Traffic and things that have been happening with our own clicks are pretty consistent, which is that they're not that good. But that being said, we are transparent, and the goal of our co-op is not to be profitable, it's to make all of us successful, and I'm personally investing more than anybody else in the co-op, so I know the importance of making sure that we're doing this properly. So we're going to hopefully have something to share with all of the participants in the co-op by tomorrow, as soon as I get everybody's data and figure out what we are missing or if we have everything. So that's pretty much where we are. Next, suggestions and ideas for follow-up on delivered clicks. I'll just say in that regard that I have been in the solo business. That was part of the reason that I came up with the idea to do the David versus Goliath, and I know a lot of solo ad vendors, and I actually worked with some of my favorite ones for the clicks, and I worked with Shakir for our Goliath clicks, and Shakir, as you know, is a preferred provider for mats. So nobody wants to hear that we're unhappy, and I have to be sure that we are unhappy, first of all, and secondly, I have to have the data, and we have to have the data, and we're going to have it in a transparent way. So, I mean, I think that people that are running co-ops, when the co-op doesn't perform and it's not transparent, there's always going to be this concern about whether people are making too much money or whatever. But the idea here is it's not about that. It's about us as a community all winning together. So all I can do is just learn and optimize and be transparent, and that's what we're going to do. Next steps for Supercharged Seminar. Eileen talked about some amazing things at the beginning. Most of the people here now missed that. I think Boyan heard it, but Eileen was suggesting that, or basically saying that she's got some great ideas for sales for us as a team, for those people that are interested and committed to work together, not necessarily as the co-op, but as a portion of the Brain Trust community that is interested in doing this. And we are going to test our own versions of sales pages for events coming up so that we can see if we can do better, because there are some things that Matt is doing, that MOBE is doing, that we know there's other ways to do. We don't necessarily know that they've tested thoroughly. And so we've got 25 people. We can do a lot of very cool things. So for lack of time, I will just leave it at that for the moment. Next steps for the MOBE Brain Trust Team website. I tried to get Liz here. That's why I brought her up on the screen while we were talking before. She actually is available, but now we don't have time. But Liz Conlon is, I've been talking to Liz about doing a website for us that's like the ILN website. For those of you who know, it's the Internet Lifestyle Network. I think that's exactly the right approach for us. It's basically an interactive homepage that has your current shared webinar, your current live webinar going on, and when that's not going on, then it's the recording of that webinar, and down the side of the page it's a live news feed. In their case, they're using Livewire, but we'll interface directly with Facebook and do a news feed there, and it'll be very cool. And then from that page, you'll be able to log in and go to the back office, and that's where we'll have to differentiate. If I think that would be the portal to everything. So from there, the Brain Trust community could enter one way, and the Brain Trust members would enter another, and or at least have different access, and the Brain Trust affiliates and associates all entering from that one page. And Liz gave me a price that I think is pretty good, so I am planning to move ahead with that with my own money, but we'll talk about that, I guess. I just don't want to have to get everybody's buy-in, and I don't want people to think that I'm applying money unwisely. But I may take it out of next month's management fee. So part of the idea of that fee is to buy tools and resources that are of use and benefit to the team. So I think that we may do that, but I will bring her in the next, definitely by the end of the weekend, we'll have a webinar where she'll present what she is proposing, and we can all give our input and decide if we want to use her or if we just want to outsource it for, somebody from Bangladesh for half the price. But I think that she's a good person to do it. She's in MOBE, and she understands it, and she's in Hollywood, and she's the one that brought us the ideas about doing video sales pages with Hollywood, not with Hollywood, but with actors, to tell her to give the pitch for us. Could be fun. Too busy saving up for Korean. So I'm not sure if those comments are relevant to us, but so that is number 6, and then number 7 we'll get as far as we can, and we're 5 minutes beyond there. Review action items. The action items are that we're going to, Deborah's going to get this one video edited the way we talked about, or not edited, but she's going to do the bullet points of one video so that we can follow her template, and then Eileen and I will do a bunch more, and we'll pick out the 2 or 3 that we want to finish first, and we'll put those 2 or 3 onto a page that will be somewhere that when people opt into our webinar, we'll give them a bonus for opting into our webinar, that they'll get taken to this page where they'll get to see 3 highlight videos from our last live webinar featuring Lisa. So that's kind of the idea, and that is the most urgent thing, so that helps us to get our next webinar going, your content, ultimately leading people to join our community, ultimately leading people to come to the Supercharged seminar. And our next meeting time, well, we have the Monday night webinar that we're going to start promoting. We definitely are going to need to prepare for that. If you guys, I think we need to get together sometime relatively soon so that we can coordinate our advertising and do it the right way so we don't wind up against the clock. Not just advertising, but even promoting, getting the word out within our own group so that we can all promote it properly for free, and for those that want to spend a little bit of money to promote it that way. So with that said, can we do it tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. your time? I know it's dinner time and it's the weekend for Deborah, for Eileen. So,
Yeah, I'll be there.
You can be there? Excellent. So
yeah, I may be a little bit late coming on if it's going to be 7 o'clock my time.
we can do 7:30 your time.
Okay, that would probably be better for me.
Okay. Let's do that. So then we'll get at least the 3 of us and anybody else that can join us, because we do at least need to get together to make sure we're promoting this next webinar right. So that's it, everybody. And then, as far as the David versus Goliath, there will be follow-up with everybody who is participating. If there's any questions or concerns about the results or about any communication issues or anything else, please reach out. I look forward to our next get-together. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And we're going to leave now, take a quick break, and I think most of us are going to join Matt's webinar in 8 minutes from now. Thanks, everybody. This is the MOBE Brain Trust, and we appreciate you all. Bye-bye.